Yeah.
Now, he didn't involve the community.
Yeah.
And the day those donors would come, he would mobilize women to dance for them and do a lot of celebrations. Then once they go back, nothing else goes on. See, that is one. So, and later we learned that he would even employ teachers in that school, and he would not even pay them, despite the fact that the donor would give him money for that purpose.
Hello guys, welcome back again. This Nyabohanse podcast being hosted by Syntech underscore KE and Pablo underscore. It's Syntech underscore 1 and Pablo underscore KE. That's how we
I'm laughing. It's all about Sintaki underscore 1 and also Pablo underscore KE. You know. But all in all, man, kura
Kurabitano.
and
Mzee Kurabitano.
Mzee kura. All right. Right. And with us here is one of the veterans, one of the biggest heavyweight. Stop looking down. Look at the camera. It's called Paul Gichoro Wanchama. If I'm not wrong.
You missed one of them. I'm John Gichoro Nchama. Yeah, it's no problem.
I did deliberately.
Oh, you did, so that I can correct it.
Correct it.
All right. So you, well, my name, as you have heard, I'm John Gichoro Nchama, a resident of Nyabohanse. I am a media career person.
How long so far?
I have been in the media since 1978.
Wow.
When I joined the defunct Voice of Kenya, Kisumu. It's a vernacular radio station where I was broadcasting in Kuria language. That time, the media was different from what you know today, guys.
Yeah.
The Kuria language was given a very minimal minutes. We used to broadcast noon hours. We used to broadcast for 45 minutes, and then evening 1 hour. The rest of the communities were given more hours because they had commercials, they had advertisements, but the Korea language didn't have all those advantages. So we were given a very few moments to broadcast. But anyhow, that is the time when I was in Kisumu broadcasting. I was, I think, second generation broadcaster.
Okay.
There were previous ones before me, Chacha Mwita Matango and the rest had come earlier. But I came at the time, 1978, I think we were the second generation broadcasters in Korea language.
Pablo, where are you? 1978, where were you?
My parents hadn't thought of giving birth to me.
On the knees, on the stomach, on the shoulder, head, shoulder, knees. 1978 has been why actually it's been it's a big time.
It's a big time. It's a big time.
It's a very big time.
That time during technology, even the equipment that they were using.
The first broadcast, I guess there's something that you said, Tata. You know, Tata, for those people who don't understand, Tata is dad.
Dad.
Yes, we say language. Tata.
Yeah.
Not Tata the car.
No.
Tata. So, Tata, 1978, the impact of Jomo Kenyatta dying, how did it grasp you on the neck? Since you're the founding father, Jomo Kenyatta. Oh, maybe Pablo.
But maybe before that.
Before
Kenyatta passed on, I know you can see that grace period of how they started the media thing from that period, and he's saying how Korea language, you know, Korea is the people from Nyabohanse, those Nyabohanse or Korea. Forget now when people have started coming in different tribes, but majorly it's the Korea tribe.
That, true.
Yeah. So before that, and when they were doing like, how were you able? how are you able, Tata, to get in touch with all these people? Because I don't know if people had radios by then. Were there radios?
Medium of communication. I think
Yeah.
channels of communication. Maybe explain that.
All right, what we had was that time we used to visit our area
Yeah.
once in a while, and that one didn't have a lot of impact because maybe in 3 months he used to come to Korea
Okay.
to interact with the audience,
Yeah.
and that one was not enough, was not big enough because those communities around Kisumu had a lot of time to
listen,
interact
to
with the
interact.
people.
Okay.
But if from all the way from Kisumu to Korea was a long way, and you take a long time to interact with the audience, and that one was very costly.
Okay.
You would find that there are no advertisements, there are no
Yeah.
people sending salamus, there's no. So you find that those guys are taking advantage of the community so that we don't get enough airtime
Okay.
to give our people whatever they needed at that time. Yes, that was the situation that time.
So by then, what was the fastest medium of communication? By then,
But that was radio.
Mhm.
It was radio because people didn't have many alternatives.
Yeah.
The radio at that time, the radio was shared. That time, around 78, 79, 80s, one radio was a community radio.
Yeah.
So you would find that if you owned a radio, it wasn't your radio, it was our radio.
community.
So community radio. So around Korea time, if they were interested in listening around 4 o'clock, you would find a lot of people around the village have gathered around one radio listening. It's not it's it was a very funny scenario. I mean, you'd find people gathering around one radio, and when it has no batteries, so people switch off. I mean, people don't. They get disappointed. They go home. They have not listened to news, and the news that time was news of what the Voice of Kenya has brought to us in Kisumu.
Wow.
It wasn't news that would be collected from the field by reporters.
Yeah.
Anything you had to put on radio had to come from Nairobi, from Broadcasting House, Nairobi. If you put on radio anything else other than what had come from Nairobi, then that would be an offense.
Wow.
Yeah.
And apart, Pablo, apart from you guys sharing the radio ambao, the community radio, what did it actually promote? Like, let's say from that, the cohesion, the bond, was it intact compared to now?
Well, that time I think we had a lot of control, government control over radio, a lot of government control. So you would find that is government policies. It wasn't diverting from government policies what Moi had said, what Kenyatta had said, what the minister has said. It was all through about government policies. It wasn't deviating from what the government wanted people to listen to. So it was so different from now as to when people are given a lot of varieties. That time it was really government policies per se.
And
Maybe do you feel like did the government fear what made maybe the government? Because Tata, you are the media personnel. You all knew in your newsroom. Like you can have first-hand information before it reaches the person on the ground. And like now, whereby you had one chain of communication, like what the government says, which the president has said this from the presidential press, all comes all down to the radio. So did you think like maybe the government feared like if they left people think by themselves? Because I think now the government was thinking for the people, right? What if were they fearing like maybe the people might rebel against them, or what happened?
I think you already said it that historically,
Yeah,
this country has evolved from dictatorship.
true.
The government never allowed freedom of speech.
Yeah,
This is something people have fought for.
for
So all this time, that's why they control the media.
okay.
Some of us who were in the media that time, if you divulged information or you branched off to talk to about farming or about business, and you talk to an opposition person regarding what the government probably was against, that would jeopardize your job.
Oh.
So that means actually that was we emanated from a dictatorship regimes, and I think we liberalized as we went on, as you may know.
Yeah.
We have liberalized since then.
Oh.
Yes.
And apart from that, maybe from the dictatorship, maybe apart from you telling us your career, where it all started, Pablo, back in the village, people know that people don't go out. Maybe
Yeah.
where did you start your career? Maybe one, and that's just a follow up question. Then I'll ask you like dictatorship and now comparison. But let's start about
and maybe you can add on top. I think he'll be able to grasp that and what made him like choose that career.
yeah.
Because
Yeah.
sorry, in the beginning we used to hear like they'll come and select people. Maybe if you want to join the forces, want to join the police force. Maybe now which criteria were they using, and you end up being into
But then
one of the media.
that's way back.
I don't know which will come first. Maybe
The first word is how are you picked going for your career and where?
Well, actually, I wasn't picked. I chose myself.
Oh.
How?
What happened is that way back in high school,
Yeah.
I would be in a lot of communicative business, like a debating club. I used to be Christian Union,
Yeah.
all these unions that actually teach people how to speak out. So now, after my high school, I was admiring how to become a broadcaster. By the way, that time you would become a broadcaster before training. Then after joining an organization, you would probably be taken for training. And in my case, I joined the Voice of Kenya 1978 without training. Later on, I managed to go to Kenya Institute of Mass Communication for a refresher course. Then later on, managed to get a scholarship to to Egypt for a diploma course in communication. That's how I gained it. But you really, recruitment wasn't regular. It wouldn't be like the colonial time when I understand you would come to schools, find people who speak fluent English and or speak a fluent language and pick you for training. Then they accommodate you in their institutions.
Wow.
But this one was a facade.
Okay.
It was a facadely done. You would go look for a job. If you find a suitable a suitable person to put you through, you become a broadcaster without your proper talents.
What's the talent now for you?
You know, if they recruited from school,
Yeah.
the talent would be showing definitely that from school you are talented to speak out fluently, command of language, and so on. But this one, like in my case, I had to work for it, apply for it, without them realizing whether I was a fluent Korean speaker, whether I was a Swahili speaker, whether English speaker.
Okay.
I got entry into Voice of Kenya. And many of my colleagues that time had the same stint. Yeah.
And now, that's why the same questions lie. The first time you were working on VOK, that was Voice of Kenya.
Right.
What was the impact you being at the broadcasting room when you told like the founding father had died? How did you pick it initially? How did you pick it?
And how did they tell you?
How did they tell you? Because you've said it comes from a presidential.
Like say like he has passed on.
Yeah. No, it was coming from presidential press unit.
Yeah.
How was it? Because you're getting your feeds from one ground. How was it? What's the impact?
Now, when that announcement came, nobody in our station was allowed to put any other program other than from broadcasting Nairobi. Everything else would come from Nairobi for some time.
Where Leonard Mambo
Mbotela was after he revived from wherever he was been captured and then reinstated.
So the so the guy who actually announced Leonard Mamu Botella, a big veteran like you, was under capture, set capture.
Was
After
it
he-
so? He was captured during the coup, or
Yeah,
when is the coup? When did
during
the
the
coup
coup.
happen?
No, that was now
The coup happened
founding
in
father.
19.
That was in 1982.
The coup happened
This we're
during
talking in
Moi.
1978.
Okay.
Yeah.
But so
Now,
again,
after
so
he
before
had
1970,
after the coup had successfully been subdued, after the coup had been subdued successfully,
yeah.
that's when Mambo emerged again as a voice.
But
Then
but he has asked you just a random. But now I want you to tell me, when the founding father had died, what was the mood of the country by then?
no, I mean most of the people who are alive who were living that time know that there was a standstill in every activity of the nation, and we in Kisumu were told never to put any program on air until we had authorized from Nairobi. So everything was coming from Nairobi at that time. When there was suspension, everything had come to a standstill. Nobody was speaking anything. We were waiting. Everybody was waiting to know the outcome of the aftermath of the death of the founding of the nation. So the rest unfolding events, some of you may know them, the takeover, the wars, things went on until there was some stability. But as far as our broadcasting was concerned, we didn't go on air until we were authorized from Nairobi.
So it was like so during the radio it was like a dead air at the end. No music, no nothing.
Nothing.
Wow.
Everything
from
So you are tuning, you're hearing how the radio.
from Nairobi.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nairobi CBD. Well, this thing was tough. And apart from that, Kenyatta died. Uh, what are the things that you'd have shared now between then and now? From all the maybe I don't know how I'll ask you, but maybe from then and now comparison. By then you're getting all your information from one source, and now the comparison before you go to Moi era, not the Kenyatta era, because there's some things you would have not do it.
Yeah.
What were the comparison? But you may answer it earlier later, but you may speak a little bit of it if you can.
I think now when Moi took over, we shall link the Kenyatta era and the Moi regime. When he took over, he announced that he would fuata Nyayo. And this fuata Nyayo issue has confused most Kenyans until today. What he was to do was probably to do exactly what Kenyatta used to do. Probably the things that Kenyatta used to do would never change much. Like in our career, the media career, it would never change. They would always want to dictate what the government wants the people to do in the media. So I think this is what happened in the Moi era, that he took over from Kenyatta so that he can fuata Nyayo,
Follow the footprints.
Follow the
the
footprints.
footprints of the founding father. So he has followed those footprints until, I think, probably beyond the coup,
Yeah.
1982, when I was also still in Kisumu at that time.
Same radio.
Same radio. Same radio.
Leonard.
Mambo Mbotela being captured and then freed baadaye later.
Yeah.
So now, I think things never changed much from Kenyatta's era and Moi's era. I think the situation, especially regarding the media, continued the same. And I think there was even more dictatorship as regards the media during Moi.
Yeah.
I think he realized that after the coup, that probably he needed to tighten the rope on the media so that they are not as free as they would be free to propagate ideas regarding the government, its failures and successes. Yeah.
But when you talk about the media expression, media, freedom of
Freedom of
expression,
speech.
media of by then, uh, like when you say media was actually abducted in one or the other back then, comparison to now. Back then, what did you guys fought for? You guys fought for so much that we're seeing right now,
Yeah.
like medium of expression and maybe
Free media speech, they call it.
yeah. What are the things
Media
that you guys
freedom.
fought for that we actually tunaharibu,
But
we're
now,
actually destroying from what you guys fought for?
Well, but there have been that fight has been futile. The fight has not become successful so far, as far as I'm concerned, because that freedom of the media to be achieved has been a big challenge. See, what happens is that comparatively with the Western media, a media person, a professional, is supposed to be insured against the problems that you will encounter. You are likely to encounter problems with the government, with people who hate the professionals. And so the media houses have not lived up to their standards of first uh, ensuring you, like if you during your tenure of reporting, if you get a problem, if you die, for example, who compensates your family?
Mm.
If you had a compensating aspect of your family, you'd be braver, you'd be more bold
Yeah.
to face the challenges of the day. But you see, generally, media professionals in Kenya are not licensed. I mean, are not insured, and fearless to say, generally professionals are poorly paid. So that when you think of facing a challenge against the poor pay, against no insurance, then you may even succumb to bribery. You may even want to get that envelope.
Brown envelope.
Yeah, the brown envelope, so that you can survive, so that your family can survive. If you get proper insurance, you get proper pay, the chances of you being blackmailed or even being intimidated become less. But you see, our professionals, through my career, I've found that most professionals of my status, or even below or above, they have not lived up to the expectations of their profession because of these problems, of these factors. So so I don't know how to get rid of this. It's not probably for me to state what I expect them to do. But these people needed to do better terms for professionals. Yeah.
Now and Pablo, I don't know. Now,
So maybe
yeah.
I think Tata has given us all what we needed.
The broad knowledge of media. Now,
Then
Tata,
also, the more reason we brought him here, he needed us to tell us more about our
the media
village.
now,
Media, he's
and
done
how
that.
and where it started.
It started, and now all about the village, because he's one of, I'll call him one of the elders.
The
in our village.
pioneers.
Pioneers. They know
The
how
elders,
the
yeah.
village started, what was the village, up to now where we are. That's why we are trying to do the comparison and now. And we thank God having such kind of men in the village, because they do really advise, they do really help when it's needed.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a point I said, even fools grow old. Was I wrong if I say that? There's a time I said, you may find somebody is old but is a fool. I think you're the slogan that you gave me that.
Well,
True or false?
well,
Just a yes or no.
well, I may say yes or no, but you see, some of us, some of my ilk,
Yeah.
some of my age mates, they want to be respected because of their age. But the argument is that experience, they have
Wisdom.
experience. But you see, that experience includes gathering some of the mistakes that you transmit into the present.
Yeah.
So you have to be very careful as to what you say. If you want to be respected because of your age and experience,
Yeah.
remember that that experience has gathered a bit of mistakes that you want to transmit, that you want to transmit to the generation next.
Yeah.
So you must be very careful, because I don't want to be respected because I'm old. I want to be respected because of my output, my contribution to society.
Yeah.
Yes, Tata.
And Tata, when you talk about Nyabohanse, this name crafting Nyabohanse, what did it all start from? Like we are Nyabohanse. You know, me, Pablo is my elder brother.
Yeah.
Where did this name Nyabohanse come from? Because you being on the national level in terms of broadcasting and stuff,
Yeah.
you came all the way from Nyabohanse. You know, things people are fighting from. You come from Nyabohanse. Where did this name? Where did you guys craft this name from Nyabohanse? Maybe can you give us a synopsis of how Nyabohanse was, and put this mic here.
Thank you, Tata. We have Hanse is a Korean name. Hanse. Hanse is down.
Down.
Hanse. Now, the place called Nyabohanse, during those olden days, was a battleground between the two communities. Now, one community would find the other, ethnic communities. They used to fight around Nyabohanse. And dead bodies used to rot around the market, what is called Nyabohanse right now, but not at the Nyabohanse, which is a bit down. We used to have what people who are conversant with the Kikuria will call Kenyekara. Kenyekara was a place where all the trunks of trees used to stay without rotting. Rikara. But we also used to have Nyabugundo, where now the dead bodies used to rot without being picked. There were no ambulances, there were no policemen to pick them. So anybody who died during a battlefield used to be left rotting, unless those vultures came to eat them and so on. Or even those relatives picked them. But Nyabohanse was now between Kenyekara and Nyabugundo. When you left Nyabugundo, you would go, like you roll down towards Nyabohanse. You go down.
Okay.
That's why some people refer to it verbally kama Nyabo down, yani Nyabohanse.
Okay.
It is down comparatively to Nyabugundo and Kenyekara. It is down. So it has a long history, because if it was from a battleground to a market that is now growing very fast, with young men who are very, very hardworking, very aggressive. Some of them, I think, are known internationally.
Yeah.
You probably think that it is a new phenomenon. But it's an old market that witnessed those battlegrounds, the ethnic battlegrounds, during that time. But now it has grown into a modern market. If it wasn't facing competition from Sirari or Nyamaharaga and Mabera and elsewhere, I think Nyabohanse would now be a big market. But despite all those competitions, Nyabohanse is boasting to be a market of its own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Standing on its own.
On its own. Yeah.
Now the Nyabugumpo.
Nyabugundo. No, those are other names.
Nyabugundo part.
Now Nyabohanse is now overriding, is now defeating those other names.
Oh.
They are even more difficult to pronounce for the modern people. So those ones are being overshadowed.
So that what made them settle to Nyabohanse now and left the other names? Like they decided, let's now name, because naming used to come maybe when the barazas sit down, the elders, right? So maybe what now made it now come like Nyabohanse, or it's because the name was easy to pronounce.
Maybe to help you, there's something you haven't got. It was a battlefield.
A battlefield, yeah.
Nyabohanse used to be, am I wrong?
Yeah.
Battlefield, whereby they used to fight. And if I fight you, if you die, you die there. Yeah. Nyabugundo and Kenya Makara. I think that's translate to Komakara.
Yeah,
Kiomakara, yeah.
this one is different. The reason why Nyabohanse has overridden over the other names
yeah.
is because one, those are archaic, those old names that reminded the people of the battles, and so on. People wanted to forget about the past.
Okay.
If you named somebody about the fighting, it will remind you all the time about the fighting, and people want to forget what happened those days.
Yeah, yeah.
The other issue was, I think it was that Nyabohanse was easier to pronounce for even, because remember Nyabohanse is not necessarily over for people who are born at Nyabohanse.
Yeah, true.
There are people who have come in to invest.
Yeah.
So when somebody is told that this is Nyabohanse, it's easier to remember and pronounce than Kenyekara,
Yeah.
or even in Nyabugundo, and so on. So the easier to pronounce the name, and also the easier to forget the past, which is given people a bit of bitterness, because we keep remembering those other names.
Yeah.
The people remember that this was a battleground, and people want to forget those things.
Yeah.
Want to remember the good things. The bad things will hinder progress of Nyabohanse.
Yeah.
Right, that.
So Pablo.
Yeah.
And Tata, you've been in the media, we've been in Nyabohanse. When you talk about social content creation, right now you've been in the media for almost, I don't know how many years, 40 plus.
Yeah, 40 plus.
40 plus.
Yeah.
You've been in the media. The comparison between, I wouldn't say the analog media, but what you guys are created and what you guys have seen, like from right now we're talking about digital content creation. Okay. And initially we had, I don't know how many medias, we had electronic and stuff. You may explain that. What's the difference? What are the ethics? And what people get it right, and what people, the dance and the don't, the do's and the don'ts.
No, I think now people are more socially enlightened. In the past, it's like people used to be enclosed. People were not. It wasn't. The system was not opening up for young people to understand and even to correct themselves. Now people are able to correct themselves up. I mean, you don't go into pitfalls easily. In the past, people are like closed up. There weren't many trainings for young people. I mean, people didn't understand the goings on of the media. But I think now people are aware. Like, you know exactly where you may go wrong with the law of the land. You know where you go wrong, you go where you right, you go where you do what is right, what is expected of you as a professional. And I think now is more challenging because it's more competitive, because you know very well that if you don't perform up to the optimum, you'll probably be neglected, you'll be ignored, you won't live up to the standard of the expectations of the audience. So people are striving very hard right now to get the best out of the profession. So I think that's the difference right now. People are dormant that time. People are not interested in going aggressively to achieve. The people are now going head on aggressively to achieve, and in the process they want to achieve, but they also want to maintain the standards.
So that's a good response, Tata. So now, currently, I know there's a generation of young men, and what you're doing here, we're doing content creation. most they're known as YouTubers. Have you seen, according to you, because you're a good person that can get information and know how to analyze that information, whether good or bad, when that message reaches you. So, do you see any? Maybe you can give us the positive impact and negative impact on current crops of the upcoming or the YouTubers that we're having in the village. Have you seen any impact on that?
There's a lot of impact.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of misinformation about the YouTubers, and I think what is lacking now is information to correct that misinformation which have come across.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been identifying YouTubers with
Secret sector.
secret sects,
Illuminati.
you know, some very mischievous developments in society.
Yeah.
And for me, I was thinking that the best issue is to correct that impression
Yeah.
among our people so that they are aware that this is a development
Yeah.
that comes with modernity.
Yeah.
And I found that a lot of people who are misinterpreting that endeavor are people of my age,
Yeah.
or even beyond, and people who are analog, as you people sometimes call us. So when you are told a new thing, it's very difficult for you to grasp it unless it is told to you severally and repeatedly. And so, if you assume that an old person of my age will understand an issue like this one,
Yeah.
without properly understanding and probably even saying it in Kikuria or in Kiswahili.
Yeah.
I wish that YouTubers era was explained even in Kikuria.
Yeah.
I think probably what challenge you people will give me is to translate it. Give me time, I'll translate it into Kikuria. It wasn't existing during my time, but I can find a word to translate it into Kikuria so that people don't mistake issues. Yeah. When people mistake issues, it will be difficult for you to get along with them.
Yeah.
What you people need is to really get people to understand what you are doing so that you can have a conducive atmosphere to do your business.
So comparison between then and now in terms of content creation, because you used to do content, and something that people don't know, used to be my former workmate. True false. Used to be my former workmate. Now the comparison that we used to work and now, what's the difference between 1978 and now, apart from digital content creation, the way Pablo has put it? Can you speak about maybe people not understanding media codes of ethics and law? Because you find somebody like right now, the government is talking about cyberbullying, talking about maybe protecting a nominal source. Maybe somebody may just give you a secret, like, Pablo is a thief, but please hide my identity, and also protecting the minor, maybe from you. What can you say? Because you find right now in the community, you find people who are exploring and saying like, Pablo, we have this. When you talk about protection, what do journalists gain, or do people who are in this fraternity gain in terms of hiding the identity of a nominal source? Maybe
I think the whole approach is wrong, because first you have to expose people to a situation where they will realize that when you do this, it's wrong. When you do this, it's right. But before you expose the population to a situation where they will differentiate between wrong and right as regards to something, It's now, what I've found strange is that if you listen to the government media, it's all blame on social media, on people getting it wrong this way, people getting it wrong this way. They have not shown the right way. If they disseminated information the right way, like they are holding some workshops or seminars, they always hold seminars and workshops when things go wrong.
Yeah.
They should have come up with a formula where young people who are endeavoring to disseminate media, the government should have come up with a way of letting these people know the norms and the don'ts and do's of doing their business. You see, young people, and you people included, are yearning to achieve in their various fields. And if they're yearning to achieve their various fields and you cannot stop them, the best thing is to give them guidance as to how they should go about their businesses. If you don't provide their way of doing things right, they'll do it their way.
Mm.
And when they do their way, you start blaming them that they are not doing it the way you people expected them to do it. You have not guided them. You see, you are waiting to cane them when they have gone wrong, but you are not giving them the right way before waiting to cane them.
Yeah.
You are waiting to punish them when you have not given them the right way to do their things. So me, I'm finding that our system of doing things is actually wrong. They should have gone ahead of the young people of today before they start doing their way. They guided them properly at whatever expense. Because a mistake can be expensive. But if you give guidance, you can prevent that expensive mistake. That's what I would say for now.
So for now, that have you seen any positive impact with the current YouTubers in the village? Maybe development-wise, maybe through them there are some people that have been able to be helped. Have you seen something like that in the village at the moment? Maybe you can pass somewhere, someone tells you that these are YouTubers who helped me. They're the one who did this. I don't know if you've ever you come across anything like that.
I've seen a very small impact.
Yeah.
In my village.
Okay.
And probably it amused me the other day when I found a young man around Nyabohanse who had been assisted with some items. And before the day ended, he had sold off all the items. So,
isn't that short grace period of time has sold off everything? So some people cannot be helped.
Within a very short, before the day ended, the boy had been given some items. The one I remember very was a mattress, modern mattress. And the boy was going around the Nyabohanse market advertising who wants a mattress. And it was an expensive mattress. And the other items followed later. And I think that was a big challenge to whoever donates.
Yeah.
If you donate items to improve the livelihood of a society, and then you find that those items find their way out immediately after you donated them. So you wonder how you really you wonder how else you assist. Now there was another. I have said I've had the impact on a very small
level
proportion.
Yeah.
Around my place, Kumakara area, there was another boy. There was a fracas there, and I think either the house was demolished or something. Then I was told that YouTubers went and assisted him. I don't know how far. Okay. But again, I am finding that every big beginning, every big event has a small beginning,
Yeah.
Humble beginning.
a humble beginning. So I found that if there is that drop in the ocean, if it is well utilized, I'm sure bigger things will become. But there are many challenges.
So that's good of it. How can you say? How can how can you be giving a mattress and you go and sell it? Right? Sometimes
Immediately.
Yo, I heard that story. You never heard it?
I did.
Again, it's not.
Getting it
It's, you
here.
see, I think it's even there that that guy sold everything.
No, me,
I
I
think
had
you
it. Me, I had it.
I did. Honestly speaking, guys, I did.
No, me, I had it.
Ah.
Being based in Nyabohanse, where almost every day I'm around there, I was told this boy was given items, not only a mattress, was given several items.
Ah.
But by the end of the day, a few of them had gone, and he
He's gone
was,
back.
and you
He's
know,
gone
he
back.
was housing himself in a semi-finished building, the Kevin's building.
Is it the one that
Kidaga, Nasto.
Nasto did for
Yeah.
Kidagala?
Yeah.
Yeah, Kidagala.
Oh, Kidagala. No, I saw a video and big shout outs to Nasto. Actually I saw a video of Nasto that this is what we get after.
Right.
Actually, if somebody supports you.
No, me, I came around Nyabohanse and I was told, do you know what? Kidagala today was made a person. But by the end of the day, he had returned to what he was previously.
You know that we have people who really love the way they are.
Yeah.
You may uplift somebody and say, man, you're not supposed to be this way. But he sees like where I am, I'm comfortable.
He wants to return to the original situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Because I remember there's one politician who uses
Crutches.
yeah. No one day he was asked, you people keep he was asked, you're a Christian, right? What if today Jesus come and give you all your legs and everything? He said, no, even don't go there. The moment Jesus come and give me all these, I'll not get favors.
Benefits.
So I'd rather be like this. So it's the same thing. That guy saw like the moment they take me from this situation, there are those benefits.
I'll be worse.
I'll be
No. So what I was thinking that is that now when that kind of assistance comes,
yeah.
I think you people should, or whoever is in a position to assist, should actually make some kind of some study, some kind of study to find out if
research.
if this person is assisted, is he going to sustain his life and even assist others?
Mm-hmm.
You see, the essence of assisting is that you can assist somebody, and that person may be in a position, may be in a position even to assist another person.
Yeah,
you see, if you assist somebody who is unable to carry on with life, he may be in a position in future to also assist somebody else.
Yeah.
But probably one thing I came to know, you know, now where you guys fail us, our elderly, you assume too much. Like right now, we have a storm in a coffee cup in Nyabohanse. Conflict of interest, left, right, center. You as our leaders, as our fathers, as our elders, why don't you sit with us down? And have you ever thought of sitting with us down and explain like want Nyabohanse to be great again? Because you've been, from your curriculum vitae, you've been top notch.
Okay.
Yeah. Nyabohanse right now is an international village. Have you thought of you guys giving us maybe an advice like these are the don'ts, these are the do's? Have you ever thought, oh, do we disrespect you? Maybe you may find somebody who's like, okay, I won't, you won't advise me. But one thing I know, in an African setup, a child of a African man or woman is a child of the community. Where are we failing? Are you guys to be blamed, or are we to be blamed?
They want to be blamed.
I think nobody is to be blamed, except that I saw an example that would borrow from Migori. where there are old people who always, after their day-to-day activities, they gather in some place and they talk to young people. We don't have the same in Nyabohanse. Nyabohanse, I tried it once and it didn't work well. We didn't have we didn't have a venue, a place to meet. It would be like a social hall where you people meet and discuss issues relating to the youth, relating to the women, and so on and so on. And I even one time proposed to Mr. Mangera, my friend, that we needed to have some kind of canteen where all men would meet and discuss issues relating to Nyabohanse. If we find that it is necessary to include young people, would let them come in, but to discuss issues with them. But we never made that approach, and it is regrettable that we have let it drop out, and the person handling it now is politicians, those small-time politicians who now call people and they are not serious with them. They just call young people, give them kapesa kidogo, and that's all. So now your question and the issue you have raised may catapult me now to probably even spearhead the issue of having to discuss our issues with our young people and see solutions to social economic issues that are facing our people. We have not done it before, but now with this kind of initiative, we can go ahead and do something.
And also that you've seen young men have started things like in your area there was an organization. It reached a point, I don't know if it's but it's not like how it used to be, because you used to see a big of activities, but reached a point it went down. So many young men start something, then it goes down. My question is, do you think like we're also playing a big role, like in not involving you guys in what we do? For instance, now we do receive international visitors in the village here. They come with great things to do and things that can help the village. But by the end of the day, they seems to go back without achieving that goal. So do you think like, because we are young men, we don't think like, or we can't see the bigger picture than what you guys can see? Can that also hinder that?
I think maybe your advice, maybe your thoughts on that. That's the picture, but maybe your advice so that we don't repeat the same mistake.
I think what's happening that it is twofold. It is twofold. It is twofold that one, it may hinge on what you ask the people the priorities. You see, I will say that it's twofold because the young people, a young person starting something without involving the bigger community, it may not succeed. One example was what Deo did around Matare. The boy did not involve a lot of community members. He was doing it almost like a lone ranger with one or two of his friends. And some of us who are neighboring that project would pass by without even knowing what's going on. And later we learned that he would even employ teachers in that school and he would not even pay them, despite the fact that the donor would give him money for that purpose. Now he didn't involve the community. And the day those donors would come, he would mobilize women to dance for them and do a lot of celebrations. And once they go back, nothing else goes on. See, that is one. So, so the second one, is that So the second one, the second aspect, is that the old men of my caliber are also a bit docile, a bit unconcerned about uplifting or even assisting the young people who take on initiative.
Yeah.
If you see a person doing something, instead of the old people of my age assisting or even coming in to help, we even criticize or even wish the downfall of that project. We have several projects that have come down. Even this Korea something project.
Yes, CCF. Huh?
CCF.
Yeah.
Korea child.
It used to do very well.
We made an effort even to start a hospital in those buildings that are rotting.
Yeah.
But we didn't get any assistance from our local population, including our local leaders. We said, why are these buildings rotting here when we should have people employed inside here and people working?
Yeah.
Human resource.
So we have projects that have stalled. Not that all people are not around, but people showed no concern over the projects. And a lot of politicians, including our leaders, want to siphon things out of the projects instead of assisting the projects.
Even a factory.
You know the cow factory.
Yeah.
You know the slaughterhouse in Uko place. You know the Abata. You know the potatoes factory.
Yeah.
In
Getongani is stalled.
So I think that's why I said it is twofold. Young people are very, very enterprising. They are very easy to initiate something for the good of society. But you see, some of them don't have the foresight, and they don't have the support of the community because they have not involved them in the first place. So the old people, I think some of us have run out of ideas. We just want a project where we can siphon out. Whoever gives me something to eat is my man. Because my days are going.
They say God for us all and man for himself.
You know,
that attitude has prevailed over our community.
As anything how more used to say, you could have people just be like you are.
But there's something that you've said, like we youths, we initiate a project, but we don't incorporate wise men, our elderly too. So if you're watching this, and if you are a youth, maybe your advice to them as you conclude.
And also I'll add that, and even if you want to invest, come reach to this.
The community first.
But
community.
Kindly, try to know the community.
But community matters a lot.
Yeah.
You know, there's something that you've said, like people initiate. You know, the first project that came here in Kenya, in Korea, was Korea Help Child Program.
Yeah, program.
Yeah. But since the community was not involved, it was doomed on arrival.
It worked then.
Yes.
Then, hungry people, men and women, got inside there.
Yes. So if guys are watching this, we have our elderly who are smart, who are.
Yeah. The moment you land of the village, even if you know it's Pablo Syntax, come sit down with him.
Come sit with the community first.
Don't go to an individual.
Even the scriptures,
because that individual cannot be able to manage.
Yeah. Even the scripture says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you as an elderly, your last advice and your part shot
regarding
the community we youth investing and not incorporating.
Let's work together, because if umoja ni nguvu, let's work together as a community, and let's support each other. Let's work together, support each other. Let us not look for what we can get out of a project. Let's get how a project can assist a community. Because when a community becomes strong, you as a member of the community also become strong. But this tendency of people thinking that when there's a project in a community, you want to save on money out of it, or you want to get rich out of that project, and when it collapses, you get also you also collapse, and the community collapses. So we have had these examples we have said here, that a lot of good things have come our way, but we have let them down because we didn't cooperate, and a lot of people wanted to get out of it, something out of it, and it collapsed. So here we are, getting back to zero. So next time there is a project coming up, assisting the community, let us support it. Let's support it so that, we are not thinking about today. Gichoro, I'm today, and that lineage of mine will be there tomorrow. They may appreciate. And if they appreciate, maybe the Creator will also appreciate me when I finally go succumb to
heaven.
Thank you. That
when you go to heaven,
What by gatekeeper?
when I go to
yeah, when I go,
a tree.
they always say it is up there, so I don't know where exactly because I've not been there. Thank you. That
So, guys, I think from what Mzee Gichoro, John Gichoro Anchama said, I think it's good
Yeah.
for we youths if you have a project, and that's why I think we're failing.
Yeah,
Whereby
we're
not involving ourselves,
want to
the
benefit
barazas, the
Yeah.
society.
They'll come and by the way, they'll advise you.
And honestly,
Yeah.
now we're going to gossip now.
Yeah.
Everybody who's done YouTube in our place has not involved any senior citizen. Am I wrong? On any project. That's why people are tripping.
Yeah.
That's why you find all this halabaloo going on.
Going.
Yes.
Because they know they don't seek advice from them. That's why you hear a lot of conmanship, a lot of scamming.
Yes.
That's why you hear.
Yes.
But also if those people involved, like, hey, I want to do a project, let me involve the villages. We got the area chief, assistant chief, the barazas.
Yeah.
If it goes that way, we won't
It
be
runs
having
smooth.
these
Run smooth.
because everyone they also want the village to benefit and grow.
Yes.
But now, if you go, I think going forward, that's the way to do. Even if you come, I want to do a big project. Yes, you come as an individual to face me. Ask me, how can we do this? Can you take me to your...
How's the first community going to benefit?
Let him go to that baraza and tell them his intention or her intention.
Yes.
Then they'll decide, like, is this guy genuine? Does this guy really mean? Because, when you are having a group of many people, they can ask you questions that will help than an individual. Because, when I'm one, I cannot come and ask you a lot of questions. But meeting the wise men in the village, the elderly, they will ask, now you're saying this, how long? What do you benefit from you bringing us this?
What is the community benefiting apart from you? Conflict of interest. What's your interest? What's our interest? And how are we benefiting? I think that's why that's why we started. We actually started from a wrong foot. Without all those people we actually invested in our community, Nyabohanse. You've got the story from our mzee here, John Gichoro, as a senior citizen, whereby he told you the narration where Nyabohanse came from, the crafting of Nyabohanse name, true or false, and up to now. Now, next time, if you've got a project, let's incorporate the community. It's all about giving back to it's all about creating a mutual understanding between your organization and the community. And if now that's where selfishness and greedy crops in. So all in all, to me, mzee, Kravitano. And if somebody maybe wants to start a radio, are you still good to go?
Well, I will not say yes or no, but I will give you a good example. When I was in high school, that man called himself, what is his name? Machoka.
Roga.
When I was in class 8, before going to Form 1 and Form 4 and so on, he was on radio. Then Mambo was on radio. Me, I was in school when those two guys were on radio already. Now, if those veterans were on radio when I was in school, how can I decline a radio offer? And I believe I'm resourceful. I can still broadcast. I can still read news. I can still collect stories. I have the value to evaluate. Yes. So the answer is that if my elder veterans are still on radio and television, why not me?
You get it. If you don't get it, forget about it. Maybe go check him out. But where? No, you don't have Facebook. You don't have platform. No, but go check him out. And I think anything that you wish to support him in one or the other, maybe you give us your number here. Maybe somebody may support you in airtime and maybe speak with you. Maybe your African number where they get you.
The only number I have, leave alone the other numbers of my friends and sons and daughters. I have only one number, 070
plus 254.
yeah, 0707 321198. 0707 321198.
So the 07, scrap it off. It's plus 2547 0707. So support our dad here, and let's make him happy. I guess because he's not a lone wolf, but he's a major wolf. And since he's shared so many things, let's support our dad. But thanks for your time.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, kurapatano. You know the meaning of kurapatano?
Well, I yet to learn that.
But it's good to have you, and thanks for your time.
Yeah.
And may you feel blessed. Thank you so much.
So guys, we're going to end this one here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, it's Nyabohanse podcast. Keep it real. We keep it real. We bring you the real stories.
Yeah, man.
See you on the next one. Bye.
See you on the next. Kurapatano.